All right, welcome to the Beach Brothers Show. Welcome to the Beach Brothers Show. I'm Seko Varner. I have with me Conrad Schesventer. I have Jose Cruz. We're going to have a great time tonight. We're going to have a great time tonight. We're going to have a great time tonight. What's up, gentlemen? How are we doing today?
We're doing awesome, brother. Let's get this popping. Get this show running.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
Been working out all day here at the front desk, and I'm good. Now we get to sit down and talk some Virginia politics and Virginia business.
Good stuff. So Conrad is running for Virginia Beach City Council Rose Hall seat. If you're interested in getting on the Beach Brothers Show, get in contact with Conrad. Our brother Jose has insurance and investment products and services. Contact him to get your financial house in order. Also, contact him to feature your business on our show. And I have consulting, entertainment, and credit repair services. I produce the Beach Brothers Show, and I'm happy to do so for Virginia and for Virginia Beach. I'm Seko Varner, and it's time to get started. Hey, Conrad, man, let's talk about what's happening in Virginia. What's new?
Well, yesterday, an important announcement for Virginia Beach came through. Mayor of Virginia Beach, Bobby Dyer, called a special session of City Council and is scheduled for 4 p.m. this upcoming Thursday. Council will have a briefing and a discussion on Virginia Beach oceanfront public safety. As you guys might see, I'm actually here at the oceanfront right now. Just finished a shift, so this is something very important to me and to everyone here. First, remember, Mayor Dyer is running for re-election in 2020. He's running against former surf shop owner and Virginia Beach voice R.K. Kowalowicz, as well as local craft popcorn business owner and strong Virginia Beach Democrat Jody Wagner. All three will touch on this situation as the election comes closer, as they're talking about a Virginia Beach oceanfront public safety. The first is the oceanfront is incredibly important, and I want you to realize that economically and socially in Virginia Beach, it's going to cross on that importance and many other things. So safety is good for our soul and good for the business. It crosses guns as a topic as well, because safety isn't being brought up over Pacific Avenue car crashes or e-scooters. Safety is brought up over shootings. And I'll point out that the council was quick to ban e-scooters at the oceanfront last year. I would not have voted for that. And council avoids gun decrees like they have the plague. Shout out to Vincent Smith. Hopefully you're listening and watching tonight. Another intersection on this topic is social justice, because marches occur at the oceanfront, and one happened by Black Lives Matter 757. The situation rapidly escalated when law enforcement arrived, ultimately leading to tear gas. And I'm running for Rose Hall seat on Virginia Beach City Council. I'm aware of the cross-section of all of those, and I want to see gun violence reduced. I do not believe the council body is doing enough on that, and I've addressed them in chambers on the subject. And if you want city government to step its game up, then look up Conrad Schesventer for Virginia Beach's page. And if you'd like to help the campaign, drop by www.raisethemoney.com/cschesventer. Leave a modest donation to the effort.
Okay, sounds like Conrad is pushing forward with his campaign. So, Jose, man, what's happening on the business front, man? What's happening on the business front?
On the business front, first and foremost, I want to go ahead and give a shout out to my daughter, Jalissa. It's her 14th birthday. She's out in Miami with her friends celebrating. So I want to go ahead and shout her out and make sure she knows that we love her, we miss her, we're thinking about her. And on the business front, things are getting better at the oceanfront. Businesses are opening up more. Malls are starting to open up. Things are progressing slow, but it's a process. We have to do everything slowly, but we got to take baby steps. We can't just rush the process. Once we know we have something that's working, in order to make it keep working, so we can get all these businesses up and running and back the way we had it, we got to follow steps and guidelines, not just jump the gun.
Interesting. I'd also like to say it's time to shout out Tally and Twine. It's time to shout out Tally and Twine. I have a Tally and Twine watch. It's time to close them out and buy out all of their stock. And as you can see now, some of their stock is sold out. But Tally and Twine watches are made here in the 757, specifically in Portsmouth, specifically in P-Town. So support your local high-quality watchmaker, Tally and Twine. You can go to their website, tallyandtwine.com. Thank you, Tally and Twine, for sponsoring the Beach Brothers show. It's time to close things out and make sure that you have the high-quality watch that comes from Tally and Twine. Thanks again, Tally and Twine. And back to the Beach Brothers show. All right.
Wow,
All right,
brother,
so
you're going to make me go buy another watch.
you can buy one for Julie Cruz. How's that?
Hey, you know what? Just might have to take care of that.
Oh, they have women's watches. And she says, I love you too, Dad. Isn't that beautiful?
That's my angel, baby.
Excellent. So, Conrad, we have somebody who's going to be popping in later on tonight. Maybe we can give her the introduction that she's due.
All right. Well, as touched on a little earlier,
Hold on, let me see if I can.
All right. Efforts that I have for the Democrats might be interested in my efforts to run for Virginia Beach. And as a co-host of this deliberatively non-partisan themed and local business show, I'll bring up tonight's guest too. Our guest tonight hails from the Richmond area, and she's Miss Amy Wentz. Amy has been a native of Richmond and Southside for over 35 years. She's a mother, a veteran, an entrepreneur, an innovator, and a public advocate. She's running to represent the 8th District of Richmond City Council, and that makes her a perfect Beach Brothers show guest. You can look her up on amyandthe8th.com, same Amy and the 8th on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. Study her goals, send in a modest donation to the cause. And with that, we'll begin with what I think is an important first step in your growth. 2010, you founded Black RVA. Within 3 years, you were recognized as a top 40 under 40 by Style magazine. What did you see in Richmond, Virginia that the new Virginia economy needed?
About that delay. I just swapped out computers, so I'm on my older computer. I just want to thank you to the host for having me on. This is definitely a value added to me and to my team to be able to spread my message. So yeah, back to your question. Black RVA. So I was about 10 years ago or so. I was searching. There was somebody that was coming into town, and they wanted to go to a Black-owned restaurant, get some goods from a Black-owned store, and I was finding it hard to find a comprehensive list of all of what we had to offer in Richmond as far as Black-owned businesses was concerned. So I created Black RVA at that time that has now transitioned into Visit Black RVA. Everybody go check out the website, Visit BOK RVA. We are the first in the Commonwealth to have a specific platform, an intentional campaign that highlights Black places, spaces, and faces. So check that out. But yeah, so we created Black RVA, and there were already amazing groups here in Richmond doing work to highlight Black cultural events like Alegba Folklore Society. And so I was just able to create a platform. Yes, you better go and find that website. I love it. That's us. So that's what was missing, Richmond is the birthplace of the Black experience, and we just wanted to make sure that we were, Richmond is not just the former capital of the Confederacy. We don't have to oftentimes highlight our Confederate nostalgia. It's about celebrating who we are as our culture, our Black culture as well. So super excited that is now a thing, and we're hoping that other cities, hint, hint, 757, takes heed and also follows in our lead.
Well, that's great that you bring that up. I'm a member of the 200 Plus Men, and we're working on something very similar to this right now. It's going to be launching within the next 2 months. So Yeah, it's good to know that Richmond was in the lead. So salute that. Salute
It's
that.
all good. We're glad. So we want to come and support you all with your efforts, and you all come support us. So please keep us posted on how that looks, and anything we can do to assist here in Richmond. Of course, we're willing to do.
That sounds great. That sounds great. Okay. I think Jose, you're up next with the next question, good brother.
All right. Now, we're also interested in how you view the importance of growth. The 8th District of Richmond is part of Southside, and there's a defense supply center there. Chippenham Johnson Willis Medical Center. Philip Morris is there, and a deep water terminal, the Port of Richmond. How do you help the 8th on growing and thriving?
Yeah, so the Defense Supply Center is actually housed in Chesterfield County, and then Chippenham Hospital is actually housed in the 4th District, which is a little bit of a ways from here. And I think later on we'll talk about that a little bit, about how our area is so far away from certain things. But I guess one of the things that are most important to me is you shouldn't have to leave your district to be able to experience the necessities that you need in life, right? Which are food, access to healthy foods, access to medical care, and being able to walk and safely walk and move around and access public transit in the area. So I guess the things that I have noticed in our district is that we are the furthest away from a hospital. We're the furthest away. We have, very limited access to medical care. We do have a South Side section of VCU that has a medical center where you can access primary care physicians and a couple of dentist office, but not as widespread as in other districts. I think that there was a couple of months ago, before the coronavirus happened, there was a doctor that moved into our area that wanted to bring a practice, and he called up and he's like, what, I heard that you're really good with the 8th District. You know about the 8th District. I literally drove around with this doctor so that we could, so I could scout locations in my district, because we really need access to these things. So we should not have to go to other districts to find these basic necessities. And so that would be one of my main focuses. Hello? Did I lose everybody? Did I lose you?
We're here. We did lose your video. Did lose your video. So I'm not sure what happened. Oh, there we go. You're back.
Okay.
You're back. Good to have you back, Amy. Wow. Okay. All right. So my question is, this show blends business and politics, and I'm an entrepreneur and a public advocate. So what investments are needed in the 8th District and the greater Richmond area? And this can deal with politics. It can deal with public service. What investments? We realize it could be investments in the infrastructure, it could be investment in the people, into the, what investments are needed in the greater Richmond area?
So while we're having this national conversation and just about prioritizing, right? Our priorities, we know our city's priorities by its budget and what we're spending our money on in the budget. And a lot of times, and I'm not sure how you're familiar with kind of like the dynamics of Richmond, Virginia, and how it works, but there are 9 districts. We are housed on the south side of the city. We have the famous, infamous Jefferson Davis Highway corridor. I think that one of the things that I've found is that as I do living room listings and people come in and they're able to tell me some of the things that they want to see in the area, there's always that elephant in the room about Jefferson Davis Highway. And so they tell me about these things that we want to attract, right, to our corridors. We want to see, we want to see some economic development. We want to see access to certain resources. We want grocery stores to come. We want jobs that come in, but companies that pay livable wages. We want, companies that are going to give great benefits. And so we talk about these things, and I say, okay, so it sounds to me like you want us to be able to attract these businesses. Do you really think that these businesses are going to come and settle on a Jefferson Davis highway? And the answer is always like, actually, you know what? Probably not. So I think one of the things that we're looking at and exploring here is just really redefining our corridors, reimagining our spaces, and rebranding them. And if we take the time to really do that and do some deliberate rebranding, especially of the Route 1 corridor, where we know that there's a lot of growth potential there, that could lead to a lot of great things for the 8th District.
Well, why is the Jefferson Davis corridor an issue?
Well, are you familiar with the history of who Jefferson Davis was?
I am, but maybe some viewers may not be.
Yeah, so we definitely do not want, especially our main corridors, named after folks that uphold slavery, racism, white supremacy. Other cities in our Commonwealth have kind of led the way on these name changes. That being Arlington, if you're familiar with Arlington, just recently had a name change.
Right.
And same with Alexandria, Virginia. They named it actually Richmond Highway, which was really interesting. So yeah, that there are a lot of mixed feelings about it. I talk to voters who are just like, we really don't want to spend our tax dollars on things like name changes. But I really think that with this particular corridor and the neglect that it's had and the downward spiral that we've had on this corridor, that branding change would definitely help us attract some new growth there.
Well, I tell you, with the businesses and the companies that seem to be making some political stances, it seems like it would make some financial sense to make some of the changes that you're speaking of. Do you think making those changes will attract other large businesses to Richmond?
Absolutely. I really think so. I think that, we see the changes happening in Richmond. There's like a few companies that have come here within the last few years, CoStar being one of them. I think that we're attractive. We have great workers here. We have a great workforce. We have access to our highways. 64 and 95 are right there. Now we have the Deepwater Terminal Port and some of the other assets that makes Richmond really unique. I think that they're just looking for real estate and places to grow. And we have that here in the 8th District. We just need to be mindful of that corridor needs to, that name, I believe, really needs to change.
Okay. Interesting. Well, my next question now. In Virginia Beach, housing keeps getting built, but affordability is not coming down. You want to address housing as it is in Richmond, Virginia. And quality affordable housing is a boost for any economy. What do you want to do?
So there are a few things. I think that first we need to take the approach of I'm not sure if you all are familiar with land trust. If you all have a land trust in Virginia Beach, I'm not sure, but we have here the Maggie Walker Land Trust, and land trusts were one of the things out of the Obama administration. There were like about 10 things in his toolkit for cities that are like ours, that they had that would help us to resolve some of our housing issues. And one of them is to invest in land trusts. And we have one here that has been given some investment, but we really haven't taken the time to put as much investment in it as we can. And what that does is allows the land trust to own the land, and then the homes that are put on it are the ones that are purchased. So they're able to get tax breaks and to keep the cost and affordability low. So definitely would want to invest heavily into the land trust and making sure that we make that work. The other thing is zoning. We have some old historic zoning here. We're going through what's called the Richmond 300 planning process right now, and as a part of that process, we are kind of reimagining a lot of our areas and what we could add is, for instance, there's a specific area in our in Southside that has a shopping center with huge parking lots, and the parking lots are no more than 20% full at a given time. And so there's just a lot of potential there to really reimagine these spaces and some of these dinosaur areas and to really come up with some really good housing solutions on them. And then inclusionary zoning, making sure that we, when developers are developing areas and developing properties, that we put in there that there has to be an affordability portion of those homes. And so those are the types of things that I would be supporting and that we have proposed.
Okay.
All right. Interesting. All right. If I were to say education, most people immediately think of K-12, elementary, middle school, high school. We know that it's important, but I'm a teacher. And so I realize, and I'm sure you realize, education isn't limited just to K-12. It's not limited to elementary, middle, high school.
That's right.
We should always be learning. In education, we like the term lifelong learners. So what's your vision for education in RVA in Richmond?
Yeah, that's a great question. So I don't know if you're familiar with my platform at all, but one of the things that I did was I created this because education is really important to me. I broke down my platform in an acronym. I was also in the military. If you're familiar with the military, we love an acronym. But the top of my E stands for education, and I put that first because it's super important to me. And I think that one of the things that I noticed in my district is that a lot of folks just don't really know what's going on civically, like as far as like how they can assert themselves in the civic process. We have amazing civic associations here in the 8th district, but the greater community at large, I noticed that they don't really know how local politics or local government works. And
why is that?
I think that, over the last 20 years or so in my district, there's been kind of like communication has been an issue as far as getting information to citizens, making sure that we're aware of what's going on. We have the incumbent has a district meeting once a month at a location here. It's called the Satellite Restaurant, and access to this particular location isn't always equitable for everybody to listen to. Geographically, the 8th district is very large, and so we have people that live, in other parts of the district that don't necessarily, after work, want to drag to a district meeting, right? So I think one of the things that I want to do is when we have district meetings to make sure that they're streamed live, like right now we're live here, we have access to the entire world,
We're
right?
live, baby.
We're live, baby. So I would like to be able to increase access to our meetings by streaming them live. And then not just that, but after each meeting to send out a follow-up email to say, hey, look, sorry we missed you at our district meeting, but these are the things that we talked about. These are the things that are coming up on City Council's our purview. These are the decisions that I'm having to make. This is how you can get your voice heard. And so just making sure that we create a communication strategy that really includes all of our district. Not just that, but we have a growing Latino population here, and they are adding to the fabric of our beautiful district. One of the things I'd like to do is have translation services so that they can feel welcome and they can understand and also be able to engage in the process as well. The other thing I've noticed is that all of our adult and vocational learning opportunities here in the city are housed on the north of the river. And if you've been to Richmond, you know a river divides us. They call it Southside. People don't even like to cross the water. But access to those programs should be equitable. So I am very much in favor of working with our school board member in the district to bring some of those resources over. The school board actually handles K through 12 education here.
Right.
But City Council, there's no reason why City Council can't work with our school board member to kind of bring about some change in those areas. So I definitely would want to work with the person that gets that seat to be able to align goals when it comes to education. I am a proud graduate of Richmond Public Schools. My daughter, Jasmine, 21, graduated from Richmond Public Schools. She's about to graduate college.
Salute that.
Yeah. Okay. I have a 5-year-old that just finished kindergarten.
Wow.
Early at the end of the year that's about to start first grade. So I'm very committed to ensuring that our Richmond public school system is thriving and that that everyone is receiving an equitable and equal education.
Okay, interesting. We'll have to talk more.
Indeed. Now, Amy, in the aftermath of a month of mass demonstrations in the state of Virginia, Richmond remains a hub of continued cultural determination. And there's so much to fix, too. Police have been using violence to counter protesters. The Robert E. Lee Monument keeps getting defended by the courts. Even some council people in Richmond have contemporary troubling histories, like Reva Trammell's Mammy Jars, or her lashing out at Mayor Stoney and claiming she hopes that was his last laugh. Speak on this climate of pressing current events in Richmond.
Yeah. So, okay, that question is a lot to it. All right. So first, let me just say that that the current climate and what's going on now is just highlighting and kind of propelling issues that we have had in Richmond and frankly across the nation forever. And so I think that that it's a great thing that the platform is being exposed and increased and amplified so that we can put these issues on the forefront. I absolutely think that it is a must that we allow people to be able to use their constitutional right to be able to protest and to stand up and speak out about what they believe in and the things that we think should be changed. We have seen right here in the city that a lot of the demands that protesters are making are actually now coming into fruition, right? So protesting is working. Pressure works. I think that so a couple of the things that the social justice community has been advocating for years that are now going to be actually in play are the Marcus Alert. And I don't know if you've heard of that, but we had a gentleman, Marcus David Peters, who was an educator, beloved by his students here in the city that unfortunately experienced a mental health crisis. And during this crisis, he was killed by a police officer. And in response to that, the family really wanted to ensure that it didn't happen to anyone else. And so they created this plan for what's called the Marcus Alert that would allow healthcare professionals to be called and to be called to a scene to help de-escalate and work with people that are suffering mental health challenges instead of death, right? We don't want police that haven't really been trained in those areas to be responding to those types of crises. So that's one of the things that the mayor of Richmond and some city council members have committed to doing. That wouldn't have happened, I don't believe, without the pressure of the protesters. The other thing is the Civilian Review Board. We know that cities across the nation have been instituting these civilian review boards for a while now, just making sure that in instances of police brutality and instances of police misconduct, that there are members of the community that can make decisions that aren't associated to the police department, like an independent review board. And so that is also something that they're pledging that is going to be happening. There's a list of about 10 demands. I don't have it handy right now. I wish I did so that I could tell you, but we just want to propel the conversation so that they're more than just a hashtag, right?
Right.
It's super important. But I am very hopeful, and Richmond is a resilient city. Our people are amazing, and we are going to definitely get through this, and we're going to come out better for it. And so with the city having these protections for our citizens, I'm kind of disappointed in the governor's decision. Earlier today, I believe that they made a decision, or a judge made a decision to not allow the people to be able to protest in certain areas, which I'm not too happy with. But I believe that we will come out of this. I think that we're going to be a stronger city and a better city for it as we reimagine how policing is. And yeah, I'm excited for the change.
Okay. Okay. Brothers, at this time, I'm gonna go ahead and shout out Ocean's 14. It's an awesome seafood restaurant located at 1401 Atlantic Avenue. They have great food and oceanfront views. And Jaquita Thompson, who's a member of the Virginia Beach Minority Business Council, and she's a local business owner, is shouting out Ocean's 14. Like I said, great food, oceanfront views. I mean, you'll have an awesome time if you go there. You won't regret it. All right. And for my next question, Miss Amy, give me 1 second. Conrad's running for Virginia Beach City Council. He's a member of the city's Democrat Party.
Okay.
And one of his pillars is revamping Virginia Beach and Hampton Roads transportation system. HRT could provide economic steroids to the area if there was a top-of-the-line rapid bus transit system. In Richmond's 8th District and Richmond itself, can you touch on transportation needs? What would your goals be?
Yes. So, as I talked about before, I had my little acronym here. The T in 8 is for transportation. And, when I have more time, we could talk about the intersections of all of these things. But one of the things that I've noticed in talking to 8th District residents is that they also want to be able to get in and around Southside, and not just. So one of the things about our bus system, it's you can take, I can go from Southside to Northside, Southside to downtown, but getting in and around just Southside period is a little bit of a challenge. I think that that's one of the focuses that I would want to highlight with GRTC, is just making sure that it's easy to get in. If I just want to go to the library, if I just want to go to the store, that I should be able to get in safely to a bus stop, to the place that I need to go to, and back safely, without it taking all day long. So that's one of the big things. The other thing is, yes, we do have the Pulse that runs through downtown. It starts, I believe, in Rockets Landing and goes to Willow Lawn. So it goes through the main street of downtown, which is Broad Street. I would be advocating for us the next stop for the Pulse to be on the Route 1 corridor. And so as a part of that resurgence and rebranding of that name change, wouldn't it be nice to have a nice, the Pulse to be able to run across that corridor too, which would be another thing that would entice and help the resources and the jobs that we need to come to this corridor. So definitely advocating for that. Also expanded route the times. Like, for example, if I miss the bus at 8:00, say the bus comes at 8:02 and I miss the bus, I have to wait till 9:02 for another bus to come, like once every hour. Increase in frequency. I'd love to see our frequency change a little bit, to make it so that if you miss the bus, you don't have to wait so long. I think that's one of the reasons why a lot of people don't take the bus. So, big advocate of public transit. I think that the more and more we get comfortable with public transit, the more easier it is to access, the more we'll use it. And so, yes, definitely an advocate for that. Bring the Pulse to the 8th District.
Okay. Interesting.
All right. Interesting.
Back to you, brother.
All right. So we'd be remiss to leave out the most significant topic of 2020. The most significant topic of 2020. I'll let that marinate for a second. Let's talk about COVID-19. So, it's been a big health issue, and we know that the Black community, the so-called Black community in Richmond, Virginia, has been heavily hit. So that just kind of shows that maybe our health system hasn't been as prepared as it could have been. So how would you like to address Richmond health and safety?
Yeah, so thank you so much for that question. First of all, let's just shout out our medical network, our nurses, our doctors, all of the folks that were on the front lines of the pandemic. We don't thank them enough. I know that other states and areas had it a little bit worse than we did, but we know that our Richmond medical community was really helping to fight to make sure that we weren't in some of those other situations. So one of the things that I talked about, before, as far as access to, primary health care and in this district, is most of the people who live in the district have to go outside of the district and almost outside of the city to access primary care. And that's just not acceptable. We definitely need to explore how we can get more access here so that people can have preventative care. There are some, I was talking about taking Dr. Joe around to scout out locations. He's starting a new needs-based health practice that doesn't involve a lot of the issues that we have currently with our healthcare system. It's more so like if you need a specific thing, then you have an on-call doctor. So just kind of looking at just reimagining how healthcare is in our area too. So that's one of the things. The other thing is just mental health supports and supports for people who are going through recovery processes and things like that. Definitely want to increase that and make sure that we're allocating resources to those areas. Sorry, I'm getting a little thing here. We also have one of the biggest hospitals in the state right here in our district. It's the VA hospital. And although that's a Veterans Affairs hospital, there is no reason why we can't be partnering with them to ensure that we're doing, health days, health fairs, blood pressure checks, just things about just working with McGuire to be a good partner to the community, right? They're housed here. They have access to resources. There's no reason why we can't expand that partnership there. And then just asset-based approaches and to health and safety. There was something else I wanted to say too, but I can't remember what I was going to say.
Well, it sounds to me like you have a good grasp on some of the things that could happen.
Yeah.
And that's one of the great things. We need to know what can happen.
Visionary.
So we can exactly. Mm-hmm. Would you consider yourself a visionary?
I do. I think that it's really important that we imagine just all of these topics. Like everything doesn't have to be standard textbook. What we've done in the past. I mean, obviously, in a lot of these areas, what we've done in the past is not working. So I think one of the things that we talked about. I mean, I know we're getting out of healthcare, but I'm doing these virtual town halls, and in the virtual town halls, we kind of explore all of these topics that we're talking about now. And one of the things that we talked about was like we have this huge drainage ditch thing in our district that kind of like takes up a really big space, and it doesn't look good. Not good. If you walk out your house, it doesn't really bring you positive vibes. There's a mysterious liquid that comes out of it that we probably don't know what it is, and then tremendously neglected and overgrown. And one of the things we talked about in the infrastructure town hall is reimagining this space. Like, how would this look if we, turn this into a daylight stream or some of our other areas that we might, need sidewalks, but we don't have millions of dollars to fix the sidewalks. What other earthly matters can we use? And we had a guest speaker, Duran Chavis from the Resiliency Gardens, that talked about some of the permeated paths they've created in some of our community gardens. Just using some of the ideas that members of the community are already doing, and not paying consultants and not paying all of these, other groups to come up with these great ideas, and utilize the assets in the community and the ideas that we already have here. And so those are some of the things that I
want to shout out Duran Chavis, Brother Manifest, as we used to call him.
That's it. Yes, that's it.
So, did you know about the Happily Natural Day and some of the other things that Duran Chavis used to do? Wow. It sounds to me like there are some great things, some truly great things happening in Richmond because of what's happening with some of the people who are putting their feet on the ground and making some of the changes. And it looks like Amy in the eighth, that kind of has a nice flow to it. It's one of those people, man. Yeah. Interesting. So how's your car going, Conrad? Everything going well with that nice vehicle that you have?
Very much so. And in fact, if I drove right now from the oceanfront back home to Rose Hall, I'll pass over some bumps and some potholes. And luckily I'll be in this Jetta a Jetta I purchased at Chesapeake Southern Volkswagen, 1248 South Military Highway, from good folks like Cynthia Rawlings and Charlie Roy. Like the other products sold at Southern Volkswagen, I can handle the treacherous roadways and backed up stormwater systems, and this reminds me of something Amy just touched on. I assume this is also a significant subject in Richmond's 8th District and Greater Richmond entirely. So, Miss Amy Wentz, what would you like to do as councilwoman on infrastructure?
Well, Amy is working on infrastructure right now. And so as she's working on the infrastructure, the internet is an interesting character. I'll leave it at that.
Indeed.
So I'm glad to know that you had a great experience with the Jeep that you have, your vehicle from that Chrysler group. So it's the Southern Greenbrier Chrysler Group. Is that the name of it?
They, I think next door they sell some Chryslers and some Kias as well. I got my Jetta from the Volkswagen store.
Oh, from the Volkswagen store. Okay, that's what I was thinking. Good stuff. Good stuff. All right. Well, we're here in the Hampton Roads area, and we have some great businesses. I know that Jose really likes going out to eat. What are some of your favorite restaurants, man? I know you're going to say the Rican Chef.
Come on.
You're gonna salute to the Boricuas out there. But
always.
What are some other places you've been with your lovely wife recently?
Well, recently I haven't done much eating out. With this whole COVID thing, I've been trying to stay away from everybody. I'm not sick, and I'm not trying to get sick. So, but I'm glad that we got that shout out with the Ocean's 14 because
right.
Your brother loves some seafood, so yeah, I might have to go ahead and stop in there and go check him out, and then
y'all might have to invite me down there to check that out.
Hey, you can come on down too. We can get a table, we can get a booth. It doesn't matter.
Anytime.
Do they have outdoor patio seating? Do they do that out there?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Okay, because I'll be on the patio. I'll come with my mask and then just take it off just to eat.
And like we tell all our viewers, just stop in, enjoy your meal, and tell them Jose and the Beach Brothers sent you.
Okay, all right, I'll do that. Sorry about that technical difficulties.
Mm-hmm. Well, if you would like to take another minute or so to touch on your broader infrastructure goals, we could do that. But also, if there's some stellar 8th District businesses you'd like to shout out, that would also be a good opportunity too.
Yeah, so let me just say that I'm also the co-founder of Richmond Black Restaurant Experience here in the city, and that is a week that's dedicated to highlighting. Yes, that's a week dedicated to highlighting our Black-owned restaurant catering businesses as well as our food trucks in the city. So one of my favorite places to go in the 8th District is Harold's Kitchen, and so definitely want to shout him out. We have some amazing Latino businesses that have amazing food. So one of my favorite is the Bachadas over here on Walmsley Boulevard. So if you have had a chance to check them out, please check them out.
I heard Bachadas has some great parties. I went out there once. This was about 2 years ago. Oh man, I had a ball.
Okay.
Hey brothers, road trip.
Yeah. Oh, you're on.
Hey.
You're invited. I'd love for you all to come. Also, if you're getting gas, we have a kind of like, I won't say old school gas station. It's called Cars Texaco on Broad Rock, and they still come out to your car and will wipe your windows down and give you full service gas service. So that is also another business over here that I would shout out. But yeah, just as being the co-founder of that experience, one of the things that I just want to talk about briefly is just the ability for Richmond to really focus on highlighting some of our amazing culture. And we have in this district that's Black and brown, one of the big things that I really want to focus on is merging our two communities together and learning about our differences, celebrating our the influences that we have that are similar, our similarities, and we have a lot of festivals. Like Richmond is like the area for festivals, and we have a lot of festivals that are curated a lot of times in our downtown spaces. But the 8th District, would be prime for an amazing festival that kind of highlighted our Black and Brown cultures. So definitely am an advocate for that. What's something else I want to shout out that's doing dope things? You all talked about Black Restaurant Experience, Black RVA. Our children, our youth. We always have to center our youth. We have some amazing youth. Graduations just happened here in the city. So just want to shout out to all of our 2020 graduates going off to do amazing things. I mean, how resilient you have to be to have to go through your final year of high school, not being able to go to the prom, not being able to do some of those things that we all got to do, and not be able to experience graduation like others have in the past. So definitely shout out to all of our graduates. You did it, and you're going to go off to do some amazing things. Thank you for pulling that up. That's so cool how y'all can just pull up things as I talk about it. That's great.
Hey, I tell you what, you had the croaker spot. I love the croaker spot as well.
Yeah.
We have a croaker spot here in Norfolk. I know they have 3 locations.
And croaker spot is one of our partnering businesses. They actually are housed right outside the 8th District, but they are in the South Side on the Whole Street corridor. We love them.
Good stuff. Good stuff. All right, Conrad, take over, good brother.
Well, I would really very much like to thank you, Ms. Amy Wentz, for coming on the show tonight. Talk about your campaign, your vision for Richmond, specifically the 8th District and beyond. Hopefully, as we get closer and closer to November, we might actually get to have you on more often.
Thank you so much. I love to come on, and congratulations to you. If you want to just chat offline about how your race is going and how I can assist you, or we can just give each other feedback, I'm more than open to doing that as well. Thank you all for the opportunity.
Well, I think you might want to have, Seko, you muted yourself. I saw that.
Yeah, I did. I want to make sure everything that Amy said could be heard. Any last words? Is there anybody else you want to shout out, that you want to salute, or any last things you want to say that you may have missed in today's show?
So, the 8th District voters have a hard decision coming up in November. We have somebody who's been in office for about 18 years, an incumbent that's very entrenched in the district. And I just like to say that I really firmly believe that it's time for a new vision, a fresh perspective, and a positive way forward. I really think that we're on the brink of some really good things in the 8th District. I really believe that I am the representative and the leader that can make some of those things happen. I just ask the 8th District voters, give me a chance. Check out my information. www.amyandthe8th.com is where you can find a lot of that. I'm also on all of the things. So I'm on the Facebook. You can find me, Amy Wentz, Friends of Amy and the 8th, on Instagram at Amy and the 8th, on Twitter at Amy and the 8th, on YouTube at Amy and the 8th. My daughter's talking me into getting a TikTok. I don't know, how that's going to go, but you might see me dancing around the 8th. All things, we are really, we really are excited about the things that this campaign is doing. Really firmly believe that that I am the change that we need over here. So just asking 8th District voters to please, just keep an open mind. And if you have any questions, I'm very accessible. Folks can reach out to me. I even give out my phone number. It's 804-446-1029. They can call me at any time. I'm very transparent, and just don't call after 1 a.m. But anytime before that is okay.
All right, I really like your vision. I really like your vision.
You see how it spells out 8th? I was telling y'all about that, being in the military, in the Army. I was at 88 November. That was another thing. Oh, that was what I wanted to bring up about the 88 November. So I'm working at the port down in Norfolk. I was at Fort Story, if you're familiar with Fort Story.
Right,
I was there and worked at the port. So we have a port right here in the 8th District. So who better than to focus on that than somebody who worked at a port before? So anyways.
Good stuff. All right. Well, thank you, Amy, and the 8th.
Thank you.
All right. Gentlemen, another great show. Any last words? Any last thoughts?
Well, go ahead, Mr. Conrad.
Well, I'm just enjoying this great evening here in Virginia Beach. I can't wait to, drive home and see how great this sunset is going to look here in Virginia Beach.
All right, Jose, it's on you, good brother.
Yeah, just to comment off of what Conrad said, yeah, it's gonna be a nice little sunset tonight. I can't wait to see it. But I did want to take a minute to go ahead and piggyback off of something Amy brought up about the class of 2020. I mean, this is something that we really do have to, acknowledge and take our hats off and congratulate this class. This class went through something that's never happened to other classes, and through it all in all, they were still resilient and still made it through. And the ones that graduated did what they had to do to make it across the finish line. So I, along with the Beach Brothers, salute my daughter, who's also a graduate of class of 2020. And I also have a niece, my niece Sierra.
Salud.
Indeed, I have a niece, Sierra. She also graduated class of 2020. She's about to go off to college and join a nursing program. Awesome indeed. She's doing great things. They're all doing great things. Class of 2020, keep it going.
Word up. All right, good stuff.
You gotta have 2020 vision.
As Tony Touch used to say on his mixtapes, Palante siempre en tu mente.
There you go. Palante.
Hey, check it out. Tell us a little bit about what you do, Jose. Tell us a little bit about what you do.
Well, along with providing life insurance needs for my clients, I also help clients get their financial houses in order. Right now, we have clients that, people that have money and they're not thinking of going anywhere near the stock market because the stock market is so volatile. We can go ahead and help those clients where we lock in their money, we secure it where they can't lose a dime, and they'll always gain some interest on their money, even if the stock market goes down. Because we're not in the stock market, we just follow the S&P index.
Okay, good stuff. Well, that's a little bit about what Jose has to do. Let me share a little bit about my services. All right, and if you're interested in improving your credit score, I have a solution for you where you can do it yourself or I can work with you. We have two options for you. If you're interested in learning more about it, click below in the information. I have the information listed in the video, below the video. So, and now, our gentleman of the hour, Mr. Conrad.
Were you about to say Schnez again?
I was about to say Snez. Snez.
He caught himself.
Hey, Snez, tell us a little bit about your campaign, man. What do people know about you?
Well, I'm in Rose Hall's district at Virginia Beach. I live right on Rosemont Road, Sedley Road, next to Rosemont Road, but I travel every day here to the Virginia Beach Oceanfront to work. Have a nice, strong customer service experience. A couple years, a couple degrees at Old Dominion, fashioning up my education for public service for political science as well. This is something I'm most interested in and look forward to fix flooding, transit, and some probably you could say nuisance regulations here in Virginia Beach. I hope you guys give me a look and possibly a vote come November time, because Conrad Schesventer is going to be on your ballot. And look me up for Rose Hall and City Council. And also always come back and watch the Beach Brothers show. This upcoming Thursday, we'll have another candidate for the Republican chairmanship, Mr. Bill Curtis. And that'll be a great show too.
Yeah, that will be a good show. And I highly recommend that any viewer in Virginia Beach, really take a really good consideration of voting at the Republican meeting on July 13th. Now, I know it may sound crazy to a Democrat that you're going to go to a Republican meeting at all. It might sound crazy, but you have a chance to impact those who you'll be competing against. and it's an opportunity that I think everybody should take. Bill and Jimmy Frost are, both good competitors. So look in the gym, look in the Bill, and if you support either one of them, or if you think that one of them shouldn't, is not going to do a great job, if you're a Democrat, you might want to support that. If you're a Republican, you got to report and, represent for your party. If you're an independent, then you can make sure that you put some good people in positions, because we all do have to work together. So I would highly recommend, if you live in Virginia Beach, Virginia, take a good look at Conrad, take a good look at this guy right here, take a good look. And also, go ahead and vote on the July 13th date at the Republican meeting, because you can help shape that party.
Remember, that's at 411 Integrity Way at the Virginia Beach Training Center for Law Enforcement Officers.
All right, so you've been watching the Beach Brothers Show. If you're interested in appearing on the show, get in contact with Conrad Schesventer. Get in contact with Conrad if you're interested in appearing on the show. If you need to get your financial house in order, Jose has the insurance and investment products and services. So contact Jose. Also, if you want to highlight your business, we got a chance to highlight a car dealership. We got a chance to highlight some restaurants. We got a chance to highlight our sponsor, Tally and Twine. If you're interested in highlighting your business, contact Jose. And thank you for watching our show again. This is the Beach Brothers, Virginia Business and Politics. Take care and keep it beachy.